We
We're
don't get one of
live.
those.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name's Leanna. Thank you guys so much to come and join us. Sorry we're a little late, but my name's Leanna, and I'm an interpreter, and I'm the secretary of Washington Interpreters of Union Washington Interpreters. Again, thank you for being with us. I'm the secretary of.
Well, we're getting some feedback there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, my name's Anastasio, medical interpreter, or actually in many different fields as well, but I'm an interpreter out of Yakima, also part of this wonderful group of Washington interpreters. We're a little late because these fine quality programs that we prepare are very, full of different details, and they take time to prepare. So please excuse us for the tardiness, but we're here and we're ready to go. We're fully energized. And Juan, tell us a little bit more about what's next.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is Juan Medina Blois. You guys know me. I'm really happy also to be part of this wonderful group right here. We're a tiny bit, a bit late, just maybe a minute. Yes, we had some technical difficulties, but we thank you so much for being here with us today. And today we have prepared, just a short and quick presentation live stream to end up with a raffle that we guys have for you, because we're so happy for this new year, and that's upcoming. We're happy to leave behind this 2020. Believe me, it's been rough, but we have to take all the opportunities that we have in life and enjoy what we have, and we have made the best of the choices and the opportunities that have been presented to us. Another thing before we go and jump into anything that we have for you today right here, I want to say, if you are in the chat room, feel free to engage with us. We'll respond as we can. Also, if you don't see, Veronica right here and Elena, it's because they had some other issues going on, and maybe one of them will join us. We're not sure about that, but it's the holidays, and we have plenty of things to do. So thank you so much for being with us, Anastasio. And Liana, would you like to engage the audience while I pull up this presentation right now? So what we're gonna do right now, it's give you a review of the things that we have done to advocate for interpreters. Okay, so what we're gonna do is give you a review of those things, show you how we have been active, in all facets of advocacy and interpreting related items. And so, Anastasia, can you give the audience a quick rundown of how difficult and how excited we are at the same time to have completed this year and looking ahead, real quick, please?
Quickly, you're asking for magic there, Juan, because the year was pretty disastrous in some fashion, and all the work that we've done probably can't be relayed in just one session, but I'll do my best. I gotta personally say that everything that we've been doing at this within this movement did not start this year. I think that you know very well that our movement actually began while we were running for president and vice president at WOFC Local 1671. I think that's a fair place for us to begin pointing out the things that we were already doing for all interpreters, including L&I interpreters. While we were there, if you remember, Juan, it was our idea to give our fellow interpreters or fight for medical coverage. They know that we gave birth to that idea. They also know that we had other language accompanying that bill or those benefits that would further protect our fellow interpreters, such as earning that benefit, not giving it all across the board and taxing the system. And what I mean by taxing the system, I mean taxing interpreters their own budget, the amount that they get paid, because medical coverage has to be paid from somewhere. It's just that the people that passed the bill didn't think about that part. So I would like to start by saying we've been advocating for you even before we were Washington interpreters. We were already looking out for you. We already had in mind that things could be done better. For example, we were asked within Wolfsey to run for president because they were not satisfied with the way their leaders were handling things. Their vision for L&I Interpreters was not shared with us, and we gave it a run. We wanted to go out there and fix things. We wanted to give all interpreters, including L&I interpreters, a fair shot at deciding for themselves what was the best route for them to take. And we ran for president, vice president, and I got to tell you, they didn't allow us to win. That's what I say. They didn't allow us to win because they had to do the election not once, but twice during Christmas. Okay, let me tell you why. The first time we did not achieve the win by somewhere between 12 or 13, 14 votes or so, and about 30 plus votes were left out of that count. Things weren't done right. 2 weeks later, they had to redo the entire election, and all of a sudden, twice as many votes appeared in the next election. I hate to sound like what's happening right now in our political world, but it's something that mirrors a lot of what's happening right now with what occurred in our election. After that, we set out to take all of our experience, to take out everything that we saw that wasn't being implemented fairly in that union, and we decided to take it upon ourselves to start implementing or attempting to advocate for those things that were missing. So when we created Washington Interpreters, it was all these ideas that many interpreters wanted to, a lot of their concerns, they wanted to pass, they wanted to be voiced, and we did that for them. And the proof of that is that we have been the first union, the first movement that called the election before anyone else. And that is because we knew what their interpreters' concerns were from the beginning. And they supported us all along, all this year, tremendously during a pandemic. I always say that, during a pandemic, because I can't imagine people not having something better to do than to be keeping track of us all year and keeping tabs on us, on what our next videos are and what is the content and what is the latest news and whatnot. And they have followed us. They have cheered us on. They have given us their cards, signed our cards. We have been the first ones to call the election. We're right there waiting for this whole process to commence. And along the way, they didn't just vote for us or support us just because we have a YouTube channel. No. People were supporting us or are supporting us because we immediately went to work on their behalf. We immediately did petitions that allowed us to work from home and charge or get paid at the same rate as if we were to have been in person. Those things were accomplished by our petitions, by our advocacy directly to labor and industries and to the governor. We have the communications, we've shown you in many videos, all the efforts, everything that we have done. The whole group has worked on this. We accomplished this early on before anyone else, before it occurred to anyone else. The same way, before anyone else, our fellow colleagues here, especially Juan, designed workshops for free. He designed them from scratch. He offered them. We went across the state before the pandemic, somewhere between February and March. We were already traveling the entire state, offering you workshops for free, right? For free, out of our own funds, out of our own resources, risking our own well-being all over the place. And then what happened? The pandemic intensified, the restrictions got tighter, and we weren't able to offer you free workshops any further. But what did we do then? We went a step further and we said, you know what, let's give it to them, through the internet. Let's offer webinars, right? Yeah. We gave you free webinars, right? When I say we, I'm talking like a little bit too much here because it's all Juan. Juan's the one that's been giving you those workshops, and that's his deal. He's certified to be what's the actual term for it, Juan?
It's
a presenter.
Yeah, DSHS continuing education instructor, but yes.
Yes. So I want to give him the credit that he's deserved. So he's not just a presenter, but he's an educator as far as I'm concerned. And he gave us all this free education. He's allowed us to have our continuing education credits during the pandemic. Once again, remember that. It's something that no one else thought about. So I go back to the same thing. we keep on doing things that no one else thinks about. We sent you a flyer. We've sent you ways for you to communicate with us. We've done this YouTube channel. And guess what? No one else has come close. No one else made a YouTube channel. And when they did, it was just because we did. And the simple fact that we are making the other movements step their game up tells you of the reason why there's a need for us to exist. Because when there wasn't any competition for anyone else, they did whatever they wanted, however they wanted. It was their way or the highway. You could complain at a statewide meeting, but nothing happened. But guess what? All that's changed. Now you have the potential to have a new union that competes, that forces everyone else to perform. Perform for who? Perform for you, to offer you better working conditions, to really elevate our game, keep everyone on their toes. I mean, there's countless things that I can go into, but I do want to allow everyone else to chime in, and I will come back with more things. I don't want to appear like we're bragging here. We're not bragging. The thing is that there's a lot of people that have maybe just heard about us or have recently, came around and started following us, and that don't know the whole story. So every now and then, we like to do a recap and mention a lot of these accomplishments, which, by the way, they weren't easy. They were very hard to do, and it took a lot of time and effort. And thanks to these efforts, we will have some better news in the next video that our Juan is preparing, and hopefully it's more continuous good news for everyone. We are looking out for everyone across the board. So on that note, it's all yours, guys.
Liana, would you like to share with the audience your impression of this year, what a roller coaster it has been, and how you've been benefiting and also contributing for this movement?
Yes, thank you. And that was very, very well said, Anastasio. I do want to remember everyone that we are interpreters. We do make our living as interpreters. So we, more than anyone, know what we need, what our job entails, what it asks about us, and what's at stake. And we really want you to understand that we're there with you, along your side, to be able to make a better working conditions for us all, not just us here from the board. And, for it to be fair, because I also strongly believe personally that there is enough work for everyone, that we just need to unify and come together for the same cause, so that we can have a better future for ourselves, for this, for interpreters in general. Right now, focus more on labor and industry interpreters, and just so that we can have a little bit more of that respect back that we deserve. We are contractors, and I just feel like we need to get, to get all of that back, every little bit that we deserve. But yes, it's been a very crazy and unique year, but I believe that a lot of good things came from that as well. Like Anastasio mentioned, there's a lot of good things that we were able to offer that we are hoping to change. It's going to be over soon. However, we want to be able to and this year, and hopefully continue next year even stronger, to be able to make a change, to be able to, like I said, make it better for all of us. But yeah, I guess for the next video or so, it will sum up pretty much everything that we've done. And, we do appreciate any feedback that you guys may have for us. Anything is greatly appreciated. And thank you so much for your support. And we hope that you keep supporting us throughout. So yeah, thank you.
All righty, pretty good, pretty well said. And so what we're going to be doing right now is I'm going to share with you this short presentation that we have prepared for you with the year of this 2020 year review and what we have done since our inception. So give me a minute, please bear with me. Thank you so much for being patient. We were supposed to start at 8, and we started way later than that. It was not just a minute late like I was trying to say. I think, I was just lost in the technical difficulties, and I was like, oh my gosh, Liana was with me there. We were trying to get the video going on, but we finally got it. So thank you so much for bearing with us. So I'm going to share this presentation right now, and it's going to detail what we have been up to, what Anastasio has described. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to open it right now. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Let's see. Right here. 2020 has been a very challenging year for all of us. But like I said, I'm pretty happy that it's almost over. You know what I mean? Just one more day.
One more day.
Yeah, we can focus on the things that we could bring and do for this upcoming year. Hold on a second. This is taking a minute. Almost there. Whew. Yes. So. See. If my app does not respond, I'm just going to use the link that I have here for this. Once again, I don't like to apologize too much. We're doing what we can right here. And sometimes technology is supposed to be smarter than us, but I guess it's not really smarter than us. It doesn't cooperate sometimes. But
so Juan,
yes.
Is it safe to say that if you can't find the link, it'll be a missing link?
That's a good one. Hey, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a missing link. Maybe it's going to be the weakest link.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
It's 2020. Anything can happen.
It's 2020. We're just getting it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2020. Go for it, guys. Go. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I could just do this from here.
There are people saying hi. There's Pastor Hernandez. Also, Las Plebes de Sinaloa are on. Lisa's Ere. Yeah, hi everyone. Glafira Wallace. Buenas noches. And Canon Andrade Chacon.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for being there.
Yes. Thank you.
No, yeah, feel free to engage the audience. In the meantime, I'm just really battling my computer that got slow a little bit right now. And I think I see the issue. I had many tabs opened, and I'm closing some of.
Oh, he closed himself.
It's 2020. It's 2020.
Jesse's there too. Hi, Jesse. Well, in the meantime, Christopher is there. If you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to talk about, feel free to put it in the comments. Ulises. We came for a webinar, not a comedy show.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gonna turn it apparently into a comedy show. Bear with us. We do appreciate your patience. We're having these technical difficulties. It's the end of the day, the end of the year, a very tumultuous one. And don't be surprised if in the attempt to log back in, we all disappear, but we promise to do our best to get back to everyone. We're planning on finishing this live stream and to award the winner of the raffle. That is why everyone is here today or tonight, and we promise that we will give it away. Don't worry about that.
Yes. Again, sorry. That was more like a disappearing act that Juan did, pero there he is.
And he's back.
And I'm back. Wow. That took some time, right? All righty. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
Okay. I'm checking my audio right now because it kicked me out for some reason. But okay, I'm here. So I'm going to try this one more time. And I see Angel, Mercado, Ulises. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for bearing with our technical difficulties. Let me see if I could share the screen right now with the application. Okay. I think we're going to be okay now. Let me see. Application window. All righty.
You're doing great.
Okay.
You're doing great,
Thank you.
Everybody was actually loving the comedy show while you were gone. Everybody was giving us praise for the comedy show. So don't worry about it. You could take a little longer. I've got more jokes. Don't even worry about it. We don't have a script. We don't have a script or anything, but we have some jokes.
Yeah, we do. We got some comedians up in the house. Okay, so let me see.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you for joining us.
Can you guys see it? Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Can you guys see the presentation in full screen now?
I believe it is. It's
yes, it's taking. It's taking most of the screen up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking most of the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay.
You can just see us on the side there, so we can see the screen perfectly fine. Now we don't.
Now you don't?
It went back.
Okay.
So we go back and forth. We look like the Brady Bunch or half the Brady Bunch, and then we disappear.
Yeah, we're just
so weird. We're at the point where there was this lady. Her name was Marsha or something like that. I mean, something like that, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you guys are too much. Okay, so one more time. I got the presentation up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me open it right now again. Sweet Jesus. Okay, here we are. Can you see it now, full screen?
No.
No?
No. Just Marsha, man.
Yeah, just us.
Okay. Now you're going to see it full screen.
Yes.
It's going.
You can see it right now.
It's going full screen.
Okay. And do you see the StreamYard logo or anything else blocking the presentation? No?
No.
All righty. So
2020 review. Yeah, that's blocking that. Yes, the 2020 review.
Hey, we're here. Thank you. So this is our 2020 review, guys. Let's get it going. So, February was the month of our inception. February was when, like Anastasia said, we didn't come up together and started this movement. We didn't start this movement in February. This actually if you take what was happening before, like Anastasia was explaining with WUFC Local 1671, the election process, what we were trying to do even before joining this union, we were fighting from the inside. But February was the month of our inception. After they didn't let us win the election, we said, you know what? We exhausted all the processes that we had to go through to kind of get justice and see what we could do inside that union. So each time we do our own thing and represent interpreters the right way. And who is going to be better to represent us than ourselves? The workers, we know the issues. So if you could see, knowing all the issues, we came together as a collection of independent interpreters throughout the state. Our mission from the beginning has been to defend our independence, protect our pay and mileage reimbursement, and we vouch to look out for our fellow interpreters and to represent all stakeholders. Anastasio and Liana, if you want to, real quick in less than a minute, talk about the document that you see right there and why this is important, because we were told that we were not a real union because we were not in the process of winning the election yet, but that's all we needed to become a union. Anastasio?
Yes. Well, a little bit of, what can I say, propaganda, I guess you can call it.
Sure.
people were in disbelief that we were actually a legitimate organization in the beginning, but lo and behold, we were initially registered with the Secretary of State as a nonprofit organization. So we share this with everyone from the very beginning, and we kind of quailed those uncertainties, I guess you can say, or fake
Yeah.
news.
Yes,
Yeah.
we quelled all of that, and so we're registered with the Secretary of State. We have bylaws, which are going to be revealed soon, and so that was the month of our inceptions. And so, what did we do right after that? We started meeting with interpreters. And Anastasio, you see Anastasio there having meetings in Yakima and all over the place with interpreters. And the pictures where you see myself in there are from one of the first union meetings that we had in Tri-Cities. And people were very thirsty about this information, what was going to happen with the changes that L&I were proposing, and the new law and everything, the whole shenanigans. And so we had to explain how there was a conflict of interest between WUFC Local 1671 leaders and the new company that L&I was trying to usher in to manage the scheduling system. So that's what we did from the get-go. We started informing people well before the pandemic, and as you see right here, we started having results right away. People saw the movement, people saw the presentation, people saw how genuine we are about representing stakeholders, and so the support was immediate. Right. And then Anastasio and Liana, if you want to talk to the audience about what you see in the slides right here. And for a quick introduction, we started offering continuing education workshops, and see the flyer that we prepared right away. And what we did, not even a month into our inception, we started doing this. Liana, Anastasio?
Yes, you're right. This is Leanna. Yeah, we, right away you got into it. There was a lot of work in our part in putting things together that we could actually offer to those interpreters. Then we would want to do it without getting something in return. In this case, charging or anything like that. We truly, really want to help. And I think we did that from the beginning, like you said, by offering what we can for free. And I do remember going all the way to, Tri-Cities, Yakima, and trying, and getting these education workshops together and getting them out there. So, yeah.
Yes, it was a joint effort. Anastasio?
Absolutely. It was a huge effort, from on behalf of everyone. We all donated or volunteered a lot of our time. We took a lot of time from our families, and in a lot of cases, we had to travel long distances. And we did it all for the best interest of all of our fellow interpreters, and we'll continue to do that. The best way and the best results that we have achieved have come from us providing services, information, advocacy, fighting for our fellow colleagues. That's the best results have come from that, instead of just asking them for money and donations and for contributions for politicians. We not once or is it part of our policy to engage in with our interpreter colleagues in that way. We do not aspire to take anything. We have established a track record of providing and offering services, zero charge.
Exactly. And as you see right here, the last comment right here, it says, well, before the soon to arrive pandemic, one of our many goals has been to keep you certified, to help you keep your DSHS certifications. I'm actually very passionate about it. I think, there has been an effort from the other union, WUFC Local 1671, either intentionally or unintentionally, to kind of weed out L&I interpreters, because they know they're not very popular with us anyway. And so it has been our point and my personal mission to do what we can to keep you certified. And if you see right here, what you see is pictures of, those first round of workshops that we had in February and March. And as you see, very well attended. We all engage with the public. And then during the breaks, not during the classes, during the breaks, we would have an opportunity to inform people about our movement, our legislative action, which is going to be getting into in the next few slides. But yeah, can you, Vera's not here. Vera was somebody in Elena that would talk to you about what happened and how we went through some struggles to get some of these places, to have these events. But Anastasio, can you share with the audience, kind of like the reaction and just the reception that we had with these continuing education workshops in February and March.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, it was a huge breath of fresh air. That's what basically what it looked like to everyone. That's the feedback that we got. They were very enthusiastic about the fact that another organization or a competing organization, or in this case, someone who they were familiar with, someone who has advocated for them on their behalf in the past and for many years, was stepping up to the plate and filling that void, because a lot of these interpreters have felt for many years that they haven't been represented properly. So when their own colleagues and sometimes close friends are in the room, and they are directly directing the entire presentation, and in your case you're the educator there, as I call you. And by the way, these pictures, you can't really see them clearly, especially the ones in the bottom. But let me tell you, we were having upwards of 80 to 100 people participating in all these events per workshop. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would have increased our numbers in those in-person workshops. A lot of people were asking us to, where we're going to have the next one, and so forth and so on. And that's why we decided to also employ the services of our colleague Pastora Hernandez Barbie with her workshop, and continue growing. We went to web-based, the webinars, and we were up over 200 participants, if I'm not mistaken, or even more than that at some given times. You probably have the exact numbers there, Juan, if you want to correct me. But overall, everybody was excited. Everybody knew that we were familiar faces, knew what we were about, knew that we are completely transparent, and they know exactly what to expect from us.
Exactly. No, we had those pictures don't do us a lot of justice, and for the purposes of the presentation, we couldn't fill the screen with a lot of pictures, and we didn't want to overwhelm you with a lot of slides. But yes, we had a really good reception. We had a really good, feedback from the community. Interpreters that cover DSHS appointments, interpreters that cover court appointments, interpreters that do L&I for a living. Everybody gathered, and mostly for L&I interpreters and DSHS interpreters, these credits were really helpful at a time where continuing education credits were skyrocketing. The prices were skyrocketing, and so we really made it not affordable but free to all of you guys. And I know there's a saying, there's nothing for free in America, but we truly did this for free. We continue to do this. We continue to do this for free, because what we do is we sacrifice. That's what we do, and we plan in a smart way. We are creative, and we come up with the resources. Our team is not just the 6 people that you see on the board, but more people that contribute with us on a daily basis to make sure that we succeed, because they understand that if we succeed, we all succeed. So that's what was happening with those workshops. And so right here, the next slide that you see right here is the legislative action. So we met, you can see the pictures right there, and those are just, a few of the pictures, but we met with key legislators to propose amendments to the interpreting bill that passed 2 years ago, revamping the L&I system, bringing in the scheduling system. And we also, attempted to amend newly introduced bills. We proposed amendments for a dual system, with reasonable efforts to prioritize in-person interpretation and to keep our ability to contract and bill directly with the L&I system. And we proposed also amendments to health benefits that were proposed. And so I'm going to let Anastasia and Liana chime in, please, with your experience when we were advocating all that time in March in Olympia. Talk about the meetings that we got, the meetings that were hard to get, and the barriers, and also the willingness from Senator King to pull this off. Go ahead, please.
After you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do remember it was not easy. It was something that was not easy that we were able to get in. And for the meetings, I remember a couple of times going into these offices and were kind of turned away. But we kept on going. It really did take a lot of our time, days. And again, it's not, I don't say it kind of like as if I was complaining about it. It's just would like to give you a picture of what it actually took, which was a lot of dedication, a lot of persistent, a lot of time taken away, like Anastasia said, from our families, from our jobs, from the regular things that we do on a daily basis, to be able to get into with these people, so that they could hear our worries, and so that they could actually see where we're coming from. And that actually opened up a couple of doors for us, and this is why where we are now. Yeah, go right ahead, Anastasio.
Yes, I agree 100% with what you just said. And part of the reason why we introduced some language tried to introduce language in the form of an amendment to that bill that time it went to Olympia, one of the reasons, or important reasons, was the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, it was our idea to introduce medical coverage for all interpreters at one point, and the entire idea wasn't relayed to the people who generated this bill, and they didn't know all the details behind our original idea. Part of the original idea was to, yes, offer medical coverage, but you have to earn it like in every other field. For example, we compared it to healthcare professionals, such as caregivers, and you got to work a minimum of a certain amount of hours per week or per month to be able to earn that coverage, so that you are recognized officially as a healthcare provider of some sort, and not just somebody who's wanting to come in and leech off the system. And what the reason why I was being vigilant about that, and still am, is because one of the biggest problems for interpreters has been that there's an incredible amount of interpreters in the field who do not make interpreting their full-time job, and therefore there's always more interpreters than there is work. This causes problems with our pay. This causes problems with our continuing education credits. Causes problem with availability for testing. It causes a lot of issues. For example, if you have somebody who just might be wanting to obtain medical coverage, and they become an interpreter, they take the place of one of us. They work an hour, they work 2 hours. So instead of coming in and making this profession and bettering it, they instead of doing that, they come in and they take from the system. And that's what I wanted to just include: some safety protocols, some kind of something to regulate people from taking advantage of the system. That was all. But of course, we would advocate for interpreters to have their medical coverage. Also, in a way, if possible, we would like to advocate for vacation time, right? If the situations coincide or fall into place where we can work up to a certain type of a pension or something that protects you for when from when you need to take off or something. All those ideas were bounced around. Not all of them made it to that bill, but that is one of the primary reasons why we were there. Of course, it was a hard time getting across through a lot to these legislators. They don't really appreciate or like to sit down with union representatives. When we used to be with WUFC, which is under AFSCME, they had a classic saying over there. The legislators do, senators and representatives say, "Oh, you're from Ask Me." Ask me, as in you're coming to ask me for something, always wanting something from me. And therefore, we come now with Washington interpreters into those offices, okay? And we come there, and we're not asking them for anything. What we're trying to provide for them is proper feedback, solutions that can benefit the workforce,
Yes.
like ourselves. So we don't want to just give me. No, look, this can be done better. We got to do this, and we can do that, not because we say so, but because these are the concerns of the people that we work with over the years. This is what affects them the most, and this is where we can improve their working conditions the easiest. That's kind of like what we went and did.
All righty, that's right. It was really hard, like Liana said, sometimes we were turned away, but we found enough people that were willing to listen to us, to hear what we had to propose, and to see the ideas and the vision that we were trying to instill and share with these legislators to allow us to continue to work independently and fix this. So, we have quite a few more slides, not a lot, but, quite a few more. So let's go through them. If you see right here, this is the result of our legislative action. We didn't get everything that we wanted to get, of course, that's life. You don't get everything you want. You can't have your cake and eat it too, although it would be nice to eat your cake that you buy, right? But, if you see right here, Senator Curtis King, which is somebody that Anastasio had a personal connection with, granted us, a couple of meetings. We were able to explain to him the state of the interpretation in the L&I system, what the other union with their intentions, whether good or bad, they were trying to do, and why we had a discrepancy. And, we were able to make the case as workers, not as union leaders, not as people that were trying to get, money from anybody, just workers wanting to be left alone, work, build independently, and do what we love to help the patients in need. That's it. And so we were able to say this bill that was passed 2 years ago needs a lot of fixing. But in the meantime, we need to make L&I accountable. And if we're not going to have, and believe me, Senator King tried his hardest to get all of the amendments that we proposed passed. So what we could do with his guidance was come up with a way to make L&I accountable, because since 2018, when the bill passed in June, it became a law, they had 2 years, okay? And they were not able to implement. So we said, you have until December 1st to submit a report to the legislature and let them know whether or not you were able to implement the bill, if not, any barriers that you had to the implementation, and what would be the next steps for you to fix this. If not, the agreement was that we made there with Senator King, and it's a verbal agreement, of course, was to go back in January and fix this bill once and for all and ensure our freedom as independent interpreters. So yeah, Senator King was huge. It was a huge help. Anastasio and Liana, if you want to, talk for less than a minute right now, so we can move on to the next slides about your reactions from that meeting and how relieved we were when we saw that amendment passed in the floor.
I can't talk for less than a minute, so I'll let.
Something real quick. I do remember. I remember that meeting, but you're right. I mean, what we were there to do is basically to help them understand the verbiage of what that bill had and how it was going to affect us, and the conflict that it will arise in the future for us as interpreters, and I mean as a whole, and a lot of things that they were unaware, because it was written in such a way. For example, I remember one of the verbiage there that said, that if it was an agency and then they needed an interpreter, they could basically get anyone they see fit to go and interpret for that, I guess office, or at the doctor's office or wherever. And I mean, there's a lot of loops and hoops that they were leaving open, where eventually our jobs are going to be taken over just by anyone. I mean, it could be just someone in high school, for example, just getting a job because they said they knew the language. So there was a lot of things in there that we just had to really let them know how they were written and how it could actually affect us. But I mean, I think you've summed it up very well, Juan, but I mean, I'll go ahead and let you, Anastasio, elaborate more on that.
Yeah, real quick.
And I'm back. Unfortunately, less than a minute. Like I said, I never stick around for that. But yes, there's a lot of things that are affecting interpreters. The pandemic is just further exposing a lot of our vulnerabilities, I guess you can say. One of those main vulnerabilities that we also try to defend interpreters from, and other organizations aren't even aware, and some organizations are actually promoting, is the fact that video remote OPI is being supported, and they have zero control over that. So we try to add language to these bills that protected, gave in-person interpreters the priority, meaning you got to give them the first shot. You got to make a reasonable effort to have an in-person interpreter which complies with the law of offering meaningful access to language or services in the language of the customer or patient or injured worker's preference. So we protect and give those in-person interpreters priority over technology and video remote. Why is this important? Right now, we're in a pandemic. It is practical to use video remote, especially in emergencies or in very remote locations. We support that. That's complementary. But if you ask people nowadays, either like in Tri-Cities, and they have plenty of hospitals over there, and they're eliminating the in-person or replacing the in-person interpreter with technology, video remote. And guess what? Video remote is paid at about, if you're lucky, $20 an hour. This is what the states want to hear. And when you have unions, in this case, one like WFC, which supports those types of interpreting modalities, then they're not looking out for you, because sooner or later, they're looking to replace us. We want to look ahead. We want to look ahead. We're looking ahead right now into the near future and looking to protect you. So that's what I want to say about that.
Thank you. That's exactly right. So if you see the next slide, March 21st, this is something, we took it up a notch. We converted our workshops to be offered as live webinars due to the pandemic guidelines created by the governor and pretty much, the whole country. We created our first petition to Governor Inslee for support during the crisis. If you can see right here to the left, okay? And so more petitions were added after this one. And so, this is something that we quickly realized. The pandemic was hitting hard. And we had the foresight to understand that this issue was not going to go away in a few months. This was going to be for the long haul. And so we got together and we said, we have to come up with a plan to still function in an election year. We're trying to represent L&I interpreters, but at the same time, keep on helping our interpreting community. And so we reached out to DSHS, myself as an instructor. I had the opportunity to get those workshops converted to online webinars. So we could not, so we wouldn't have to miss a bit. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. And so if you see the petition right there, and I'm going to let Anastasio talk a little more about that petition, coupling with the fact that we were having the workshops at the same time. I hate to do this to you, Anastasio, but let's do it. Let's keep it by a minute or less so we continue to the next ones. Go ahead.
This one, I believe I can keep it under a minute for sure. And the reason behind that is because my idea behind, or my thoughts behind this petition, again, we were trying to think ahead. And as L&I interpreters, at that time, we didn't have the ability to work from home and bill at in-person rates or bill at all. We didn't have that ability. So if they were obligating us or mandating us to stay home, basically we were practically losing our employment right then and there. We were forced to either go on unemployment, which at that moment we didn't even, as independent contractors, we weren't able to collect unemployment at that moment. So the first thing that occurred to us was, hey, we're going to need to start thinking of ways to help our fellow independent contractors, and in this case interpreters, to have some support from the state government or from the federal government by either suspending their rent, mortgage, or help with utilities. And due to this pandemic, if you're not allowing us to go work in person or be able to work from home, then what's going on? We gotta feed our families. We gotta put food on our tables one way or the other. But you gotta let us, right? And eventually, it led to government legislature addressing this issue, and hence the reason why people are getting stimulus checks as we speak.
Right, exactly. So from the get-go, we wanted you to see that we started doing that. Liana, go ahead real quick.
No, go right ahead. No, I think he summed it up pretty good. I mean, just to kind of point out that, we did this. We really are looking out for everyone's well-being. And, again, remember, we are interpreters ourselves. So we know what you guys went through as far as, the pandemic went. And we knew how hard it was to be able to get, jobs. And it kind of still is a bit. So that's why we, again, need to come together to be able to make sure that these changes are for good. So.
Yes, yes. All right, so we'll continue. On March 29th, we had another interesting situation, and we created this petition asking Governor Inslee, as you can see right here, and Joe Sachs, L&I Director, to allow independent interpreters to work from home and get paid in-person rates, as you can see from the left here too, instead of having a few companies like Lionbridge and Language Link covering those jobs. And so what was happening was, we were having the situation where L&I already had contracts pre-established contracts with Lionbridge and Language Link to provide video and interpretation over the phone. But we're in the middle of the pandemic. Why benefit out-of-state companies? More on that later. And why not allow independent interpreters that are certified? We're contracting with L&I directly to cover these appointments, even if it was on a temporary basis. So we pushed for that. We requested meetings with Joe Sachs, the governor. We created this petition. Anastasio and Liana, if you could chime in, 1 minute each, please.
Yes, thank you. Again, we only are asking for what we feel like it's fair. Like Juan said, we took the DSHS certificate. We're doing our continuing education courses. We're doing everything that they ask of us to be able to work in our state, which is here in state of Washington. And that's what we were trying to avoid, is for our jobs to be taken by those other companies that are being outsourced telephonically or video with someone else. And we are being left without any jobs, as a lot of us were during that pandemic. So that was what what this in-person or allow interpreters to work from home was March 29th. So yeah.
Thanks. Anastasio?
Yes, a little bit more of the same. The essence of this petition was just to give us more options, give interpreters more options, something that at the moment we didn't have. And that, if you have this developing situation with the pandemic, and then you have these transitions, or we are directly going through this transition with L&I and this uncertainty. Well, interpreters, as far as I'm concerned, I would have liked someone to come and bring some harmony to all this chaos, right? Bring some information. Just don't change things on everybody without at least keeping them informed. So a lot of these petitions, a lot of the information that we set out and advocated for was to do that. Hey, we pointed out what we thought was not right, what was concerning to interpreters, what they felt that needed to be addressed. And basically we're advocating. We're not the legal representatives of L&I Interpreters or any other interpreters for that matter, but we've been advocating on their behalf, like we said, and protecting them from the ongoing changes. This is what it's about.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. So, as a result, we quickly acted. You see here on the right, April 2nd, Washington Interpreters requested a meeting with Joe Sachs, L&I Director, to discuss our petition to get in-person rates while covering video and telephonic appointments. And on April 4th, that quick, our petition was granted, and L&I implemented the temporary policy allowing in-person interpreters to provide video and telephone interpretation, and this policy was later extended to June 30th next year, 2021. That was a huge victory for us. In that meeting, Anastasio, can you please share with the audience, once again, minute, we ended up with having more L&I staff in the meeting. Can you share the process of this meeting and what we did to ensure that we got this petition responded and accepted?
Yes. Well, we've had quite a few meetings with L&I transition teams, including Joe Sachs himself. And we have presented a lot of these petitions to them. We have communicated our concerns and interpreters' concerns to them. We've made them well aware of what is affecting us and what are the potential solutions for the immediate problems. But in that meeting that you're talking about, there was a lot of information that was exchanged, back and forth. They were outlining why they were going to do this transition and the decisions that were already taken, arbitrary decisions that were taken by them, and why we are supposed to, just take it, just accept it. we're just supposed to accept what they have to say, and we have no, nothing the way we can do about it. Well, I strongly disagree, and I think our whole team does as well. And we stood up for everyone as we have done, and we explained to them how these policies can be changed very easily. How the fact that it's a act of God, this pandemic, the fact that it can change on a whim, and that they have the authority to make adjustments on the go, just as they've done with other things. So they understood. I believe that we negotiated very well, and they made the necessary changes.
Exactly. So that was a huge victory for all of us. Let's get to the next one. So April 5th, we conducted our first YouTube live stream. And one thing that we want you to notice about us, when we say we do something or we did something, we're not just saying it. We have to provide to you the proof, as I like to call them, the receipts. So you see the pictures right here. We created, the mass email campaign through our website. And we created I already had a YouTube channel dedicated for information. So we revamped it to include what we were doing for, interpreters as a union labor organization. And so we started with the live streams that are packed with relevant information. As you can see, pandemic resources, special guests, and mental health sessions with our friend Pastora Hernandez Barbie, by the way. She's in the chat right there. Big shout out to Pastora. Thank you so much for helping us. She's been a huge help, a very good mental health professional that for free, once again, for the people questioning how we get funded or what we do to get funded, who is funding us, this is a team effort. People that like you and me understand what's at stake, and that we need to do something to keep our profession the way it's been working forever. So Pastora said, you know what? I'm going to chime in for free in the meantime. She charges a lot of money for her personal practice, and rightfully so. Her services are top notch, but she said, I'm going to help you guys. And so we always share the latest news with you concerning L&I Interpreters and events. These events, are a great opportunity to interact with us as you are right now and to get answers to your questions and concerns. Anastasia, Liana?
Yes, very well said. We couldn't have done it without Pastora, who has helped us in many occasions, as well as other members who have come up into our live streams and offer free information, resources to everyone out there, to our communities, during the pandemic, and never so, just to know where to go get the things that one needed at that time. So yeah, I agree. We couldn't have done it with all those people, and you guys are all that that are supporting us. So thank you.
Yes, just another continuation of what we're attempting to provide our supporters. We're trying to not just advocate, but also look out for you, dig up information that's beneficial, whether it be from L&I or from other resources such as the unemployment services, and whatever other supports, community support or resources that we are able to get. I know that we also helped, in the same spirit, we helped undocumented workers with having access to grants or monies that were available to them because of the pandemic. But that's a different side of the story. But we do similar advocacy where we can.
Yes, definitely. So moving on to the next one, then from May to June, we started doing different things, and we invited the Guild of Pacific Northwest Employees, especially Dean Tharp and J.L. Comack, leaders that successfully won an election against AFSCME Council 2 to represent the City of Bellingham employees. So they were able to share their experiences with us to help us, understand not only the mind frame, but what we're up against. And even though we were pretty acquainted with the way WOOPSI Local 1671 leaders are and the way they see things, it didn't hurt to have these wonderful people with us that succeeded being an independent union movement, just like ourselves, not affiliated with another AFL-CIO big name or union structure. They were able to represent themselves and win against the bully. And we wanted you to see that. Anastasia, Liana?
Go right ahead, Anastasia. But I mean, I think you've touched on it pretty well, Juan.
Well, thank you. No, just wanted to say that this goes to show that we weren't the sore losers that they made us to be. You know, we were actually interpreters with legitimate concerns who were worried about the direction that their labor organization was headed, was the path that its organization was headed down. And just like us, there's other unions out there, other locals who are going through the same thing, just like we are, and they're not sore losers. They're actually, they won their independence, and they won their election, and they represent themselves. So it's not this isolated incident. It's not that we didn't like the result of an election or anything like that. It's because of a lot of corruption. You know, it has to be said. Corruption is when your union attempts to have a relationship with an agency that's outside of the state, you know, and then tries to implement or use this agency, and then later claim that they don't know them, and then at the same time they have a relationship with the with L&I, you know, because L&I WFC represents L&I employees. We have said that in the past. And Interpreting Works, My Language Link, has relationships, ties with WFC leaders. So it's very, you know, it's a conflict of interest, if you ask me, but I guess their definition is different for that. But, you know, I just want to add this one point. You know, I think it's Lord Acton that said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And therefore, if you are supporters, L&I interpreters, and all interpreters allow WFC to take over healthcare authority interpretation, court interpretation, Department of Enterprise interpretation, and L&I interpretation, they would be the sole voice of all interpreters in Washington State. They will do whatever they want, whether you like it or not. And it's never a healthy situation to be in. We have to have checks and balances. That's why you have a Senate. That's why you have a Congress or a House of Representatives. That's why you have these different branches of government to assure checks and balances. This is why we have to have Washington interpreters to be that counterweight to keep them on their toes.
Exactly. Very well said. Moving to the next one, then we exposed local 1671 leaders' connections to My Language Link Interpreting Works. We had exposed this connection in a video update on March 31st. And as a result, L&I received 2 protests from companies bidding for the contract about this conflict of interest with their vendor. And then on June 16th, we then exposed L&I's response to one of these protests and how they refused to acknowledge the glaring conflict of interest while ignoring the evidence. And so, you know, you have seen this. And if you have not seen that video, go ahead to our channel, subscribe. By the way, drop a like, help a fellow interpreter here in our movement, right? And see the videos that we posted there. But in a nutshell, L&I responded. You know, the L&I Contracts and Purchasing Office, you can see on the picture right here on the left, they responded to one of these protests and they said, we find no conflict of interest. Like Anastasia said, we previously exposed their connections, you know, from Marisa Gilio, the executive owner for My Language Link / Interpreting Works, and leaders of WFC Local 1671, and Eduardo Zaldivar, owner of One Lingua, which is a registered owner for this company. And I know it's a little complex, it's a little convoluted process, but those connections have been presented. We established that not only you know, to you as the public and to interpreters. We talked to L&I leaders, and they chose to say, we see nothing here, nothing to see here, time to move on. Anastasia, Liana?
After you.
I think, again, you said it the best. I'm going to let you continue, Anastasia.
Sure. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, Juan, very quickly, is that this bill, this law, SB 6245, initially was prepared and supported by WFC. That's who created this bill. That's who lobbied it. That's who passed it. They also happen to be the ones that want to eradicate agencies, right? We believe that there's enough to go around for everyone. I direct bill. I don't have an agency, but I believe that there's enough for everyone. And not everyone wants to be stuck doing billing all the time. So I appreciate the work that I get from many agencies, as well as the work that I generate independently. But what I'm saying in regards to this bill is they don't like agencies, whoopsie, but they really do like this one agency, which they have ties with. So it's all about, their agency. They just don't want anyone else. They want the funds, the money, the control to be in one location.
Yes. And we also showed you a copy of the contract in one of those videos. You see a picture right here on the left of the contract that Eduardo Zaldivar, owner of One Lingua had with Local 1671, and their intentions, like Anastasia said, to monopolize all aspects of interpretation here in Washington State. So that's something that we continue to do in the month of June. Now, right away, right after L&I's decision not to recognize the conflict of interest and still award the contract to this out-of-state company in Connecticut with connections to Argentina, My Language Link Interpreting Works, we decided to take it to the streets. And let me tell you, this was challenging. Liana and Anastasia will tell you more about this protest. We held this protest outside different L&I offices in different cities throughout the state to let L&I know, let independent contractors, we're not in agreement with this. You have met with stakeholders, you have met with us, listen to the people, do not benefit an out-of-state company. Liana, Anastasia?
Yes, that's true. I do remember that very clearly. And that's basically what we wanted, is that we're trying to keep our jobs in our state. We're trying to defend our work, basically, is what we were trying to do. Because, yes, we do not agree for them to outsource our jobs to outside of the state or outside of the country. And again, I think what we wanted from the beginning, like I said, is just for things to be just, for everyone. So go ahead, Anastasia.
Yes, thank you. What I remember is that it was blistering hot.
Yeah.
It was the middle of summer,
Yeah.
and we took time off of our busy schedules during 12 in the afternoon to about 2:30 in the afternoon, somewhere around there in the blistering heat. We were looking for little areas where there was shade, as you can see, and people turned out. They went during the week. They went out there. They demonstrated, and we had our loudspeakers, and we had a good turnout, even though people were in a pandemic. As we can see, we got our mask on and everything, and they're out there risking not going to work and whatnot. I mean, this was a tremendous effort. Everything was done with a good reason behind it. The reason here also was to apply pressure to L&I, and we're keeping tabs on a lot of developments within L&I, and this is why we time a lot of our strategies accordingly.
Yes, and I'm really grateful we were able to do that. We had the cooperation of the Washington State Patrol and also the City of Tom Waters Police Department. It was good. We wanted more people, of course, but we understood that it was a weekday. People were working. We were in the middle of a pandemic, but we had a really good turnout, and I'm so appreciative, and I'm so happy for all of you guys that showed up to Tri-Cities, Yakima, to here in Olympia with me, and Liana and the other interpreters that helped us there. So thank you so much for your support. There are so many people. If I don't mention your name, don't think I forgot about you. We don't forget about people. We are very, very appreciative and very happy for your support. Now, the end of July, August, and September, what is it that we did? We created a petition directly to the governor, as you can see from the left right here, to allow independent interpreters, L&I interpreters, to contract directly without restrictions with the dual system. As you know, L&I has planned to eliminate agencies from the L&I system sometime after implementation. But what they did from the get-go was to say that independent interpreters would only be able to bill directly when covering for emergency or urgent care appointments only. And so we were not cool with this, because you're eliminating, pretty much 80% of our income workflow. We would have to depend on the scheduling system. We touched about these things. We explained why it's not feasible, why providers would have a hard time covering appointments, only having the scheduling system as the first option, and how patients would not benefit from this, and how providers would have their freedom limited to choose the group or agency or independent interpreter of their choosing to cover these appointments. We created that petition to call the governor and to advocate for that, to allow L&I interpreters to bill directly, and for providers to have a dual system where they could use the scheduling system or the independent interpreters and groups they are willing to work with. We also had a meeting with the governor on August 20th, the governor's office, and L&I staff, by the way. This was here, Caitlin Jekyll, Labor Policy Advisor for Governor Inslee. And so once again, we're not telling you, oh, we met with somebody. We're showing you the evidence, and we don't want to harp on some other groups or whatever, but you have some people, unfortunately, that they like to say, we did this, we did that, we met with somebody, we got this information, this is the latest, but it's all hearsay. So what we do, we try to be responsible and inform you and show you the evidence. And then we created another page. Our friend Alex Gallardo, she's an interpreter perpetual, we call her, created another call to action page to direct the general population, the general public, to the governor's phone number and website to advocate for our cause. Liana, Anastasio.
Yes, once again, very well said. Yes, I do remember that as well. And again, we're trying our best to do and get everything that we can possibly get for us interpreters to be able to stay independent and work independent as well, and not have that taken away from us.
Anastasia, can you please share your thoughts about the meeting that we had with the governor and the subsequent petition that we created?
Yes, of course. And I want to get this out of the way as quickly as possible, because I really want to know who the raffle winner is. I'm pretty sure that everyone here wants to know when we're going to get started with that, and I'm with them. So I'm advocating with them, even within us. So I'm looking out for them. I want the raffle now. So yes, going back to your question, what comes to my mind right away with that meeting was that L&I participated, even though we didn't invite them. And this meeting was supposed to be with the governor's staff or representatives or him. And they invited L&I to be there, if I remember correctly. And in doing so, this essence of this petition was because we believe, and we still do, that if we transition to a scheduling system only, we will be restricted. We will automatically take about a 40 to a 50% hit in our income as interpreters. We won't have access to the same amount of work no matter what. And this is someone that's been working through a scheduling system ever since we had CTS Language Link covering HCA authority, HCA jobs, and we transition over to Universal, ULS. And we never have a full schedule or access to plenty of jobs per se. And when the system goes down, or when there's a transition, or when there's a pandemic, you're out of work. So it's not prudent, I say. It's not prudent. It's not a good idea to put all your eggs in one basket, to put all interpreting into a scheduling system or systems. You need to have this direct billing. You need to have a dual system in where if something happens in one side or goes down or there's a situation, we can adapt. And that's what we've been proving to them. The overall solution here is going to be adaptability given the circumstances. And guess what? The system that we have now has adapted perfectly, because L&I interpreters have not had a dark 2020 per se. We have had a lot of work this whole year. We were not stuck at home. We've been working our butts off. So this is going to be the solution to their problem.
Yes, very well said. And yes, we're almost there to the point where we're going to announce the winner of the raffle. Hang in there. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Okay, so the next one, then we started on September and October, the election process, very important. We reached the amount that we feel comfortable of signing cards or of signed cards, rather, to show perk and to inquire about starting the election process. So we started the election process, and we started our interview series with providers sharing with us major concerns about the scheduling system without the continuity of service from L&I interpreters. And Anastasia just described why we need a dual system, why we cannot have all eggs in one basket. And so, but yes, as you see right there, we're not going to talk much about this. You can find a playlist in our in the YouTube channel, of all these interviews and all these videos, by the way. So go ahead, take a look, watch those videos at your own time, and see what we did there. Okay, so next November, this was very touchy for some people. And we were very, very despised because of this. We exposed the WOOFC's secret and separate segregated fund and how they use their members' dues money for direct political contributions after we had exposed donations that they had previously made to Governor Inslee, other candidates. And so one quick thing is that the whole thing that sparked this exposing was because we had said, and we showed a video from our bylaws, that we would not take members' dues, our future members' dues, to use it for political contributions. We would not do that to you. And we had to ingrain it in our bylaws. And because they said that we were lying, that they were not doing that, we said, oh yeah, well, we'll show you the information because we have the resources. And so that's what they do with your money. Anastasio, can you chime a little bit more about that, a minute or less, so we move on to the next one?
Absolutely. Well, if they despise you, it's got to be for a reason, right? So they might not like me at all if they despise you. Let me just tell you this. They have millions of dollars for endorsements for the politicians of their liking, their choosing, okay? But they don't have enough money to cover the time loss payments for their own bargaining teams. Okay, that tells you everything of who they are and how they do business. They have millions of dollars to pay themselves $100,000 salaries, which, by the way, I always say more power to them. If they got good jobs, I'm glad they have good paying jobs. But when it comes to interpreters, when it comes to their union members, they throw the scraps to them. Okay. They throw the scraps. And that is the reason why I ran for president. And that is the reason why we decided to create a new movement, a transparent movement that doesn't ask you for money and that fights for you and that does what's fair.
Yes, that's right. So, we were getting a message here from one of the interpreters thanking us for this. Thank you for your support. People are all over the place thanking us for the support, not only with signing the cards, but also asking, what is it, Juan, Anastasio, Washington Interpreters, what is it that we can do to help you guys succeed? And I'm going to tell you right now, you are already doing a lot by tuning in, by sharing our videos, by calling the governor, by signing our card, by talking to your fellow interpreters to not be intimidated by other groups or people telling them not to sign with us and to support our movement. Thank you for doing that. You're doing that. If you can continue doing that for us, that'll go a long way into having our movement become the certified legal representative to advocate and to legally fight for our rights. Okay? So next, December. What is it that we did in December? Okay, so we updated you on the status of L&I's deadline of December 1st to submit an implementation report to the legislature per our amendment. We just showed you the amendment that we were able to pass with Senator King back in March, making L&I accountable. We alerted you about intrusive requests that may compromise your privacy. If you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and watch the video. Go to our channel, subscribe, drop a like, watch the video and see what's that all about, how ULS wanted interpreters that contract with L&I to provide a lot of very personal information that in our opinion, it's an intrusion of our privacy. But the more important item right here to the left is that we created a video update letting you know why L&I had to submit the report, the amendment. We talked about it. We're not going to touch about it anymore. But what I can tell you right now is that we're preparing a video update to let you know that we got a hold of that report that L&I submitted in the month of December, this month, to L&I explaining why they haven't implemented and their plan. And so stay tuned, because come next week, that's going to come hot. We got that information, and we will expose exactly what's happening it's very shocking information, but very encouraging to see that we have the opportunity to have people like us advocating and getting all this information and presenting it to you. Anastasia, real quick.
Well, very easy. This is the 11th hour. And if, if you were ever interested or dissatisfied with the performance of the union or the way that interpreters have been treated in the past years, this is your moment. This is your best opportunity to step up, to voice your concerns, and to have them not just be heard, but have a group of individuals who has the majority of the support, speak on your defense, in your defense. This is your one in a lifetime, I think, opportunity to step up to the big corrupted unions and give the little guy a win. If we step up, we would have established a precedent. No one, even though the guild has been independent and decertified their local, they didn't accomplish what we are setting out to do. We are completely competing directly against the largest, if not one of the 4 largest unions in the country. And we're ahead. We're in the lead. And the reason why we're in the lead is because people are just, like I said plenty of times, they're sick and tired of the cronyism, of the lethargy, the tiredness of the way they do their modus operandi, right? So they don't believe in term limits. Yeah. They don't believe in being transparent. Mm-hmm. They just want to perpetuate the same old. They don't want to negotiate. They're incapable of negotiating. They're not able or have the desire to look ahead and prepare for change. Change is not a good word for them. Mm-hmm. But here you get to build something from scratch. This is your opportunity. Like when a new startup comes up, it just skyrockets. This is it. This is your one in a life chance opportunity to do it.
Yes. Thank you for that. And so, and then we move on to the last slide of this presentation to move on to the raffle, our gift to you. We were prevented from continuing to offer live webinars online per DSHS's changes to their policy to keep the live webinars going, but we're still authorized until next year to provide these workshops for you. And we're gearing towards retaking that endeavor and offer these workshops for you in the upcoming year. So stay tuned for that. But we didn't want to let 2020 go without doing something else for you. So we came up with a plan to make, some sacrifices and purchase this gift card. You all got the email, you saw that, so that one lucky winner tonight would have the opportunity to be the winner of this raffle, get that gift card with the Arcos Institute, and get this card and purchase 8 continuing education credits, or a class for 8 continuing education credits, and add it to their general credits requirement with DSHS. So without further ado, I'm going to stop this presentation right here. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been great. You guys are beautiful. And I'm so happy that you guys have stuck with us all this time. So, this is how we're going to do this right here. Okay? This is old school. Old school. We don't have like a raffling system online or an app to do this. So I went ahead and printed, all of the people that register right here. Woohoo! There you go.
Show us the box. Show us the box so we can see all the different amount of people in there, the cards.
Yes. Hold on. I'll show you, but I want to show you the pictures right here. There you go. Okay. And my beautiful girlfriend helped decorate this right here. So thank you. And there you go. There you go. So, we printed here all of this, it's a lot of folded up, tickets. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to choose one lucky winner. So once again, we would love for you to get all of you, we would love for all of you to get this opportunity like we did in the past this year, offer all these continuing education credits to all of you guys, or at least, hundreds of you. At this time, we're just able to pick one lucky winner. So here is...
Hold on, Steve Harvey. Don't do a Steve Harvey moment. No Steve Harveys here. Make sure you get the right one.
No. This is very transparent. So here it is.
And before you do that, if you pull my name out, you skip to the next one.
Oh,
I'm not gonna accept it.
We're not going to.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. This is the moment of truth, guys. 8 continuing education credits.
Let's see. Who is the lucky winner?
And here it is. Can you read it, Anastasia or Liana?
It's a little bit out of focus. Can you kind of move it to the farther away? Let me see. There.
Yeah.
I believe it's, let me see here before I destroy the name. It is Ashraf Dawood.
There you go. I'm going to get it closer a little bit.
Ashraf Dawood.
There you go. So Ashraf, I don't know if you are in the chat. Liana and Anastasio, please help us identify if we have this interpreter in the chat right now. So maybe this interpreter would want to come on, join us with their webcam or just voice, talk to us a little bit. But you are the winner. So Ashraf, congratulations. And thank you so much, all of you, for supporting us. So now, Ashraf, since you are the winner of this raffle, you are going to receive an email from us, okay? In the next few hours, when we do this live stream, we also have to debrief a little bit, but you will receive an email from us with your gift card, your code, and details on how to register with the Arcos Institute for their upcoming classes in the beginning of 2021. So congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. Take advantage of this. Stay tuned. Okay, we're going to have more events like this, hopefully giving more as much as we can. And by the way, if you have found value into everything that we've done right here, please help us. We don't need any money from you. We don't need any contributions at this moment right now. What we need from you is your support, your moral support, not only helping us and telling us, you're doing a good job and all that, but also getting us there. So please head to our website. Okay, whyinterpreterslni.org. I sent you the link, guys, in the email. If you can share it with the chat, please go to our website and scroll down, okay, to the card section. And if you haven't signed our card, please sign it so we add to the lead that we already have. I'm going to have Anastasio explain why that's important right now before we end this. Go ahead, Anastasio.
Yes, very important. But before we move on to that, I want to congratulate Ashraf myself, and hopefully we get an opportunity to get a selfie from you, with your gift card, so that we can show everyone that everything was transparent. We're very big on transparency here. We want to make sure that you get your gift card and that everyone's happy about it. As far as our authorization card goes, as Juan has explained to you, you can go to our website and you could download it. You could fill it out and you could return it to us however you can, either by email or in the mail, however you prefer. The most efficient way is just to send it back to us with a screenshot. Also, the reason why you should, I think we touched up on the whole year long of our efforts, the reasons why you should keep supporting us, and that's the best way that you can. We will have a better outcome the more support that we get. We are in the lead, that I can guarantee you. We filed for the election before anyone else. That gives you a direct indicator that we have the majority of the support already, but we're not looking to have the majority. We want every single person out there that is eligible to vote on behalf of L&I Interpreters, or that's looking to cover L&I interpreting appointments, to support us. We want this to be no contest. We want it to be a knockout. You deserve this. We all deserve to represent ourselves in a fair way.
Yes. So, Liana, if you want to share some words with the audience right now.
Very well said, Anastasio. Again, we need your support. In order for us to do a change, we can't do it without you. We need to be able to, be a union that represents L&I interpreters in order to make that first step. As you saw, we were able to do a lot already this past year without actually being the union that represents you all. So imagine what we can do if we are the union that represents you. And again, like Anastasio said and Juan said, we want to be as transparent as we can be. We are one of you. We know we know how hard it is. We know what our job entails, and we want to make it better. Not just while we are the representatives of the union, but I mean, just for the future, we're looking far out, and we want to be able to establish a good, I guess, a good jobs, for the future interpreters are going to come along as well, not just for us while we're here, but for those that are upcoming. And we want to really just get the reputation back in our dignity and also the respect that we deserve as interpreters. And we can't do it without you. Please just support us. Anybody that is an interpreter that hasn't signed with us yet, please let them know. It's very, very easy. You can, look us up in the website, to reach out to us, like us on Facebook, on YouTube. So thank you once again. Thank you so much.
All over. We're all over the place, aren't we, Juan?
Yes, we are. So one more time, thank you, Ashraf. Okay, you were the lucky winner right here. I'm going to show your name one more time. And like Anastasio said, if you can email us a selfie when you receive your gift card, we're going to email you that information, and we're going to mail you something as well. Send us a selfie with your gift card so you can show people that you won this. Thank you so much. This was possible because of your support, because of your dedication, because of your hard work, and because of your love and good vibes for all of us. So with that said, I want to say thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for allowing us to advocate for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the likes, for sharing our videos, and for always being there with us. So with that said, we want to wish you, and of course, Anastasia and Liana will share their words. I want to wish you a happy new year and be encouraged. 2020 is almost gone. A few more hours, we're going to have a new year with a new set of challenges, but also with renewed energies and a bigger commitment to advocate and work for all of you guys.
Yes, happy new year to everyone, and we look forward to being that union that represents all of you for this coming year and many years to come. So again, happy new year. We wish you all the best, and so bye 2020.
Just like Liana said, you deserve respect. And I believe that too. We all do here. You are essential workers. You have been on the front line the entire year. L&I Interpreters, you never stopped. If you want to keep that the same, please keep continuing supporting us so that we can win representation and make all the necessary changes or support the methods that can continue keeping you out there with your employment and with the future secured for yourself for years to come. Thank you so much for your entire support the whole year. Have a very happy new year. We're going to take over the whole 2021. We're going to make it better than ever.
All right. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for that video. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you guys.